All right, Lawrence County Speedway folks, we have got a very special one for you here this Saturday morning. When this goes live, we'll go ahead and start off by breaking the illusion. We're actually taping this Thursday night. So when you see us Saturday morning, you can know that the truth is out. Scoot Dogg Wilson coming back to the track with this 33. And just in case you missed it, we'll recap. Scoot, it is good to see Scoot Dogg here because a couple weeks ago in the Young Guns division, he and Randy Clark got into an accident. Wasn't anybody's fault. Scoot Dogg ramped off of Clark and went for a good 5-6. He went for a ride. And Scoot Dogg, it is good to see you up and about. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. The day after it, I wasn't even sore. The only thing that hurt me when I went to the hospital was my neck because they made me wear a neck brace for like an hour or two.
And I think you got probably the cheer of the season when that ambulance came out of the pits and the window was down. You waved to the crowd, and that cheer just rolled from turns 1 down the front stretch into 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then I even was told, Brandy told me that you gave a very special hug to someone.
I guess so.
I think she said it was your grandma. Your grandma coming to check to make sure you're all right.
Yeah. My grandma.
So, Josh, you always want family comes first, and you obviously want to check on that. And I know you were one of the first people that was out there to this car, because this car a couple of weeks ago did not look anywhere close to what it does now. The roll cage obviously did its job. Safety comes first, big time.
Yeah, for sure. First and foremost, the Lord was riding with Scoot Dogg that night. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a well-built car. I'll get into that in a second as far as who built it for us and stuff. But it was a crazy night, and I always stand right at the pit gate. If something happens, that is going to be the first one there, Lord willing. If I don't break my neck doing it. But H&S Racing Chassis, Red Harris and Justin Harris, they built this car. And I'm going to tell you what, if they're not building yours, they need to be. They do. I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, this thing, the suspension and the bolt-on components were bent, but the cage, I mean, it's crazy what it endured. And it bent a couple bars on the right front, and it tweaked the chassis back here. Rip Garrett at Owens Body Shop put it on the frame machine for us and refused any pay. So we really appreciate that, Rip. Red Harris jumped back in with Justin and replaced the bars that did get bent. My crew come in and we have just busted our tails, dude. New subframe under the front, new axle under the back, all new struts, new control arms, new steering components, new hubs, new brakes. Everything under this race car is new. The only thing that we are using from the existing car is the body and of course the chassis, but everything that bolts on is new. And JD's Uncle Bruce, he definitely helped out with purchasing all of that stuff. There's no way that I could have come out of pocket and just went and buy a clean sweep like that. He spoke up and said, you know, this car needs to be the best it can be, and it needs to be back like it was, and I'm going to see that it is. So we appreciate him for doing that.
And most of you, if not all, should know who Justin Harris is, the front-wheel drive track champion from last year at Lawrence. Won the Shrine race in a very exciting finish. And Scoot Dogg, with this car almost nearing repair, y'all were even running around to get parts just before we started taping.
Yes, sir.
And Josh, having to bounce around, track down those parts, it has been a chore. So last week, the Young Guns, they had the week off, and from here on out, we've gone to a week on, week off for the Young Guns. So how do you feel that's going to help with not only your racing schedule, because you still have the Thunder Bomber to run,
for sure,
and Scoot Dogg's car, so how does that help with the balance of maintaining two cars?
I think it's going to help a lot. You know, if they was going to run last Saturday, we was going to do everything in our power to be there. We might not have quite got it back to this point, but we was going to have the car runnable. I mean, we're in this for the points, and we plan on being strong. It's going to take a lot to knock us out. I hope we can keep doing what we're doing and keep running like we're running, and just be consistent. And hopefully that was one of one. I hope that never, man. I've said it and said it and said it. I mean, I hope that never comes to be again. I hope we can finish out the season with what we've got and keep it put together. And but as far as running every other week, I think it's really going to benefit the dads. You know, me and Colt and you know, Ed Hodges and who else, man? I mean, the list just goes on and on of the dads that race themselves and then try to race these cars. And these little fellas, like I was telling you earlier, they're learning, and these things for some reason seem to get torn up a lot more than the other cars. Not taking anything from them. They do an awesome job to be doing what they're doing and be who they are. They just get out there and they give it all, and when they give it all, the car takes it all. So
And there's something, I got the chance to interview Randy Clark Jr. a couple weeks ago as well, trying to catch up with all our Young Guns competitors. Something that I have noticed that has come out of this division is just the excellent display of sportsmanship among the drivers, because CJ Smith got his first win. Everybody was there to congratulate him. Scoot Dogg, you got your first win. Everybody was running out there to congratulate you. Justin Harris always seems to be at the front of the crowd because he likes to roll. He likes the mud. Well, we all know that. But the sportsmanship that has come out of this division, and even though Randy, he broke a right front, nothing that could be done there, he was also one of the first people that still got out and went over to check on you, Scoot. And Josh, how, as a father, I talked a little bit to Randy's dad as well about the sportsmanship. How does that make you feel, knowing Scoot Dogg's in not only your capable hands but everybody else's too?
Randy Clark, you know, bless his heart, that wasn't his fault. I mean, I watched what happened. The car made a hard right. He gathered it up, then all of a sudden it made a hard left. I mean, what happened that night, and he felt so bad and he was upset, and I just wanted him, I wish I could have been there to reassure him that nobody was upset with him and what happened was not his fault. Randy Clark Jr., I'm still telling you, buddy, that was not your fault. You was running a good race, Scoot was running a good race, and stuff happens, buddy. And ain't nobody in this shop or in this group or nothing got anything against you. We think the world of you, buddy.
Now let's talk a little bit about go-karting, because we got a very nice body hanging up behind us in front of the Maxxis banner. So how about the go-karting career going on?
Tell him what that body is, Scoot.
Actually, that body is the very first body I won my first go-kart racing.
So you got it in the special place right up top.
Yeah, I raced go-karts from 96 to 2008 with my uncle Bruce Wilson, and he put me on a go-kart, and we raced and won a lot of races and was real strong competitors. And we got out of the go-kart scene in 2008, and we didn't really race nothing or have anything to do with racing. I bought the house. Scoot was born. In 2012, I built a front-wheel drive car, and then run it, moved to four-cylinder, run four-cylinder a little bit, did the best I could with that, and then we turned around, and Scoot got old enough to start seeing pictures of the karts and asking about them and looking at them, and then he ended up getting him one for his 5th birthday and put him on one, and the rest is history. He won the points championship in 2018 up at Sugar Tit Speedway in the Pee Wee division, and we run some junior predator races. Actually, that's where we met up with Colt Smith and CJ Smith, rather than just Lawrence Speedway. They raced together in the junior predator division, and we raced the go-karts, and my heart's just with cars, man. The fans, and like what we're doing right now, you know, I mean, it's just a different atmosphere, a different type of person that you don't feel anywhere but at a dirt track. And I decided to build him a race car instead of a go-kart, and of course I got some I had some positive and some negative feedback. But in the end, I feel like a good choice. If he would have took the ride in a go-kart that he took 2 Saturdays ago in this race car, he wouldn't be sitting here like this, I promise you. There's nothing there. There's no belts. There's no bars. People can say what they want, think what they want. This right here takes the cake on safety when it comes to a go-kart.
And even the young guns are running front-wheel drive cars. These are still packed to the gills with a ton of safety equipment, not just the roll cage.
For sure. The Hurleys tried a Young Guns division at Lawrence, I think 2 seasons ago in 2019 with the 4-cylinder cars, and they had 3 or 4 showing up, if that many. And I built Scoot's car, and we had planned to go up the road and run because Lawrence did away with their Young Guns division. And I asked Danny if we could do a birthday party there. He let us. Then he started letting us come make laps. He seen the car in person. He personally was under the hood, under the deck lid, over in the car, looking it over. And he's like, if all cars are built to this standard, we'll bring them, we'll run them. And I'm very thankful that they did. That's huge for us because we like to race down there. That's home. So.
Because it doesn't matter. Always in the sport of racing, you can be prepared for anything, and then something else is going to happen because a car will hit the wall at the right angle. You can be prepared for anything, but then something else past that seems to happen.
That's right. Tell him, Scoot. The other week we was going for the lead and wound up on our lid, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
So, Scoot, let's looking forward to Saturday night, the Bradley Lambert front-wheel drive Young Guns. Obviously, it's named after an individual taken too soon. We certainly miss. And to be able to run in that class, that means a lot, and the support that's behind it.
Yes, it really does. I can't believe that I went from being 5 racing go-karts, and then I went to this. At the age of 9, I'm turning 10 in June, so that's why I'm racing this division.
That is a pretty big scale up to go from karts to cars in just what seems to be a short amount of time.
Yeah, I guess it is a short amount of time, and I've laid in bed many a nights wondering if I'm making the right decision, and wondering if we're doing the right thing, and wondering if we're I don't know, is he too young? Is he ready? But then you see him climb out of this thing on the front stretch at Lawrence and throw his arms in the air, and you're like, I think we're going to be okay. It's only uphill from here. He's not going to get younger. He's going to get older and hopefully progress. And some of the kids that's just now starting, by the time he's their age, maybe he'll have some experience and some, maybe we'll have something. Maybe we'll be some real contenders then.
And that Young Guns class has experienced a good amount of growth. We're averaging about, seems like 5 karts seems to be the pretty good average. And then a couple weeks ago, you get 7, 6. It just seems to be slowly working its way up, which is a good thing to see.
Oh, for sure. I told, buddy of mine in the pits, Jeff Cannon, he's actually a sponsor on the car, Cannon Small Engine Repair. He come up to me, he said, man, there's 8 of them out here. And I said, yeah, dude, it's only going to be a matter of time before the word gets out that Lawrence has a Young Guns division and that it's a good thing and that it's good racing going on there. And then it's just going to continue to grow. It's not going to stay at 5 cars, there's no doubt. Other tracks, other people, especially ones that are traveling further to race, when they hear that Lawrence is doing what they're doing and has brought them in, the class is going to grow. I look for there to be, before it's over with, I'm looking for anywhere from 12 to 15 cars. That's what they're having at Harris and Travelers Rest. So and then parents that come to Lawrence that don't travel to other tracks per se, they see the class and they're like, I'm really thinking about maybe doing it with my kid. Well, I'm really thinking about doing it with my kid. And the next thing you know, those people, they're not just talking. They really, Randy Clark's a perfect example. He, they was out there watching, hanging out with Colt. They come to the races a lot. Randy Clark Jr. wanted a car, and the next thing you know, he's on the track with us. And I think that's going to continue to happen. And some parents, they still think I'm crazy. They, the people at the hospital, Josette said they were like, "What are you doing?" You know, he's driving. He was going how fast when this happened? And yeah, I mean, he was, but he's got really good safety equipment, and I've seen licks in a football game do more damage. So.
Now, the Studebaker's almost back together. Well, it looks like it's one piece still. A few more adjustments to make to it, but I know I've already said it, but I know they want to hear from you. What are you doing Saturday night?
We're going to be there. We're going to race there.
I think you heard it there. He said he's going to be back, so it's only been 2 weeks. The car's ready. Josh, I'm willing to think the driver's ready. Is the crew chief ready?
Lord, man, I think he's more ready than I am. I'm so ready, Dada. I'm so ready, Dada. And I told him, I said, "Oh, yeah, me too." I'm ready too, but part of me is, a part of me's like, let's just get out there, fill it out. Let's make sure everything's everything. It's going to go straight when it needs to, turn when it needs to. You know, the engine's going to do what it's supposed to do. We're dropping it in a little later tonight. Going to fire it up, make sure it's still good to go. Check oil pressure, check, you know, check for leaks. And I don't know, man. We're getting pretty close. We plan on coming back Saturday night and seeing if we can't do something with them.
A lot of hours have been spent, especially recently, in this shop getting this car put back together. There's a lot of hours that go into racing in general, Scoot. So growing up, this hard work, where do you feel like this hard work can take you?
It can take me to a world where I can go to go-karts and then end up in NASCAR.
I like that. That's a good little story right there. So I'm glad you're thinking ahead, Josh. He seems to be thinking really good ahead.
Man, I like his thinking, because if he makes NASCAR, then that means I can chill out a little bit. What you think?
Yes, sir.
Well, then you've got about a 20, 30, I don't know, however man pit crew to take care of this thing. You can sit back and go, yes, let's adjust that one over there.
Yeah.
And
I just hope to get an invite to the races and maybe sit up in the air conditioning in the hauler, and you know, whoever he's driving for, they can handle that. I just want a shirt and something cold to drink, and know that the bills at home are paid because of him.
And I know you've come a long way, and he's, even in his career that has begun, he's come a long way, and especially after that role, I know everybody is glad to see you're okay. The only thing you said was you complained of neck soreness, and that came from the hospital. Can't say I've ever heard, "Oh yeah, I climbed out fine," but I know the one thing that I thought was he wrecked in the best place and the worst place, because he wrecked in the best place where everybody could get to him quick, but the worst place because it was in front of everybody and all the sheet metal had flown off and everybody was just looking at you going, is he okay? Rooney, thank goodness, fire chief of the city of Lawrence, he could see Scoot moving, but none of else of us could really tell.
Right. I'm just thankful for the people that have checked on Scoot. I'm thankful for the phone calls and the Facebook messages. And it was, dude, Sunday I didn't even have a chance to look at the car for the people stopping by. We just had one person will stop by, then another person will pull up. Pork Chop Pulley stopped by. Wayne Taylor stopped by. Michael Hudson stopped by. I know I'm gonna forget somebody, and I hope nobody gets mad at me for forgetting anybody, because it was just person after person after person. And we was looking the car over. Travis Mabe, he's my best friend. He runs the 66 in Thunder Bomber Futures. He come over and he was looking at the car, and neighbors was walking over, and it was just, it's crazy. And I appreciate, you know, the videos that were being videoed at the track, where they took the video camera off of Scoot while they were checking on him. Man, that, like I said earlier, dirt track racing is a sport like no other. You're not gonna make me see it any differently, and you just don't see that kind of respect anywhere else. That's how I feel on it. And thank you, Rooney, for keeping an eye on him and looking after him and making sure, you know, thank you for using your skills and what you have and the abilities you have to to kind of use it on my son. I appreciate it.
Well, Josh, I know this has been one great opportunity to basically do a one-on-one, one-on-two, however you want to phrase the interview, because we really don't get to do many of these where we get to see inside the racing deal. Yeah, we talk to the drivers. Normally that's at the track, but only for a couple minutes. But it has been a real pleasure to get to the inside peak, not only to check on Scoot, but to see that you're race ready to go.
Yes, sir.
So I'm looking forward to seeing this 33 back out with the young guns. Scoot, do you want to thank anybody before we sign off?
I'd like to thank Tempson USA Compressors, Spartanburg Fleet Services, Cannon Small Engine Repair, Carnes Barbershop, TBT Tune, I can't say that right. Justin and Red. I just like to thank a lot of people just for helping me with stuff and everything like that.
And Josh, I guess we can wrap it here. Thank you for letting me come down and do a little bit of sit down fireside chat talking to y'all.
Yeah, buddy, we appreciate you coming to the shop, and you're welcome anytime. I mean, you brought your camera this time, but if you want to stop back by when you don't have it, you're always welcome.
I'll keep that in mind. I totally didn't have to duct tape it to the tripod because I didn't have the plate that fit.
It fits right in with the rest of the shop. I mean, it don't look out of place at all.
I think everything's worked out, so again, we're taping this Thursday night, so we'll be seeing everyone Saturday night. So this has been Grace Sutherland with Josh Wilson. You'll see him in the 33 Thunder Bomber, and you'll see Scoot Dogg in this 33 Young Guns car.
Hi, Mom.